Oops, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, go ahead.
I'll stop. Okay, so let's see. I think I started Bold in 2017. Oh my gosh, 4 years. That's amazing. I've been going to Be Moms for 5 years. What I love about Be Moms is that I get to be part of the community. I get to be I get to find friendship out of it. I get to come and listen to the amazing speaker. And then I love the food that they serve. Coming in and have a place to just sit down, listen, eat, and then to be part of like the play dates and the events and stuff. And yeah, basically to get a break.
So I started Be Moms in January, actually. I have a 9-month-old son, and so I'm pretty new. And I think the biggest thing for me is I quit my job to be a stay-at-home mom, and so I get to see other people besides my husband. And so I know it's a weird thing, but like you don't realize how much you crave, like seeing other people, and that time, you know, the play dates and the monthly meetings, like it just helps get me out of the house without a husband, without a baby, and meet other women and just be me, not mom, just me. So yeah,
especially in like this year is that which is the theme, better together, which is so true, because I felt that I was away just by myself, just quarantining with my mom and my stepdad. It is just you feel alone. So when you just be a part of like this community and be invest your time to be like to come in and be there, it does make a difference.
I think for me, the most important thing about Be Moms has just been other moms who get the struggle. It truly is, it takes a village, you know, I truly believe that. And so for me, it's like, I've made new friends. I've met other women who I wouldn't have met otherwise. And I have a support group that I can go to because God has shown me this year the importance of having friends and having mom friends. I don't know, because I'm at an age where I have some single friends who don't have any kids or they just don't have kids in their life yet. And I have friends who are moms. And so it's different when you have a kid. You don't have the freedom of a single, like, parents, you know, or non-parents, like you just don't have that freedom. And so for me, like there was one point, like I think God kind of tested me and was like, you need to pour into some relationships, and that's not always easy for me to keep the follow-up. And so you know, he kind of showed me like, these are women that are going to be your friends and that you need to lean into and that want to lean into you. And he showed me some signs of that, and I was like, okay. And so I think he really showed me like, okay, Teddy, you got to step up and you got to step up your game, because it's not just an always them, like you have to put into it too. And so I think with Be Moms, it's made it a little bit easier because there are like the play dates, and like, I know, okay, I'm going to see these women like at least twice a month, but then I need to fill in the gaps.
So my mom moved here to down in LA maybe a year or 2 years ago. So before that, it's just me here. So it was nice to just come and have an adult conversation with adults, not my kids. And then have a mentor mom that pour into you and opening their home for a dessert night and just, you know, to feel loved on.
The mentor moms, they offer a different perspective, and it's someone who isn't like directly connected to you, so they can maybe offer different advice than what your mom should think is be happening, you know?
Just like they're more neutral.
Yeah.
All the mentor moms that I've been encountered with in my table, they've been just giving me so much wisdom and like support.
It's nice to have that perspective of someone who can help you navigate through the troubles that you're having. It's just going to build to your village or your tribe, whatever you want to call it. You're going to have women there who are willing and wanting to come to your side and help you. And you can, I mean, if anything, it adds to your babysitter list. Like, right? Like,
Yep.
I have somebody now, I'm like, hey, can you watch him for like a minute or two? You know, like, but you're going to get so much more out of it because it's a time to fellowship with women and God. And so it kind of grows you personally, spiritually, and then also helps you with your childcare and with your baby.
So I started Bold last September. I'm relatively new to Bakersfield. So I moved here last April in the midst of COVID and a lot of life circumstances. And I was invited to Bold at a time where it really was calling, something was calling me to get involved in some way. And what I learned about myself through my experience with Bold is that I really thought being a career woman, and I owned my own business, and I'd spent such a long period of time really building a career and really thought I had my priorities set and everything where it should be. And I really learned that I really know how to mess things up. So I really learned where I had things prioritized, and they were all in the wrong order. So, and what I learned about God is that He is so merciful, and He is so loving, and He loves me. I don't have to earn it. I can't lose it. That He loves me.
Starting Bold, everything was like, I was like, yes, I'm in this, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've got this, and was enjoying it and loved the fellowship, loved how I was connecting with everyone. And then I started experiencing one of the craziest trials of my life. Here I was thinking, like, trying to do things in my own strength. And God was like, wait. Like, I'm here. And I learned that He is my sustainer. He is the one who does everything. And at first I was really upset. I was like, why am I going through this, but I just learned that God is just so good, and He will carry me through anything. And I also learned about myself that I need Him. I need Him so much. But also I need my sisters too. Like, I need the community. I need the support. Like, we're in a group text. So texting is like, our phones are constantly blowing up. Like, and I had just said, please pray for me. I'm having a really hard time. And then immediately they're like, we're praying. And then one of my friends in the group was like, do you want some dinner? And then she came to my door. Oh my gosh. She came to my door. I'm going to start crying. And then she had stuff for my kids, chalk, coloring stuff. And I said, thank you so much. She didn't have to do that, But it's like, my sisters, like, we come together and we support each other. And, that's just so special. And it's so extraordinary. It's not the norm, right? And I think that's like what these groups are about. It's like, we do life together and we support each other. When things get hard, we show up for each other.
Yeah, and for me, I have to say it's just that fellowship and being in the presence of I had never attended a group like that, and so this was my first experience. I was terrified when I first went to my first Bold group meeting. But how welcoming they were, and how you just feel the Lord's presence. I really enjoyed being there with them and sharing my story, and letting them get to know me and me get to know them. And it's personal. It's a real personal experience. You just think there's no other person out there like you or experiencing what you're experiencing. And I'm here to tell you that is not true. And so I found that through Bold. You are definitely not alone. You're definitely not alone.
I started about 4 or 5 years ago when I moved back into town. My mom invited me.
Let's see, I've been probably a good 15 years I've done precepts. And it interested me because we were doing a lot of word study in precepts, a lot of more observation instead of answering questions. It was a lot of just really reading the scriptures, comparing scriptures to scriptures, in that way. And it was different than any of the other studies that I've done, which I also enjoyed.
Yeah, I wanted to do it because I'd seen grown-ups watching her do precepts. Sometimes they'd be held at her house and stuff like that. So always kind of been a little bit interested, but hadn't been back in town until more recently. So then I jumped in, and I really do enjoy the same thing, the word studies, finding the connections throughout the whole Bible. And that has really brought, I think, the whole story of the Bible more alive for me.
Mm-hmm. See, this is what's hard to put into words for me, to explain it. But I just feel like as I'm getting to know his word more, I'm learning more about him. I'm growing closer to him, and just desire to learn more about him. And also, the more I get into it, the more I realize what I don't know, and how much there is to always learn. Even if I've studied a book several times, each time it's a new, my eyes are open to new areas of what he's trying to teach me at that time. But it's also, I love hearing what other women have learned, what they've discovered, how God is speaking to them at that time. I like hearing that.
And it's just a great, community when you with these women that you build. I mean, I remember when I first started, I was back here in Bakersfield, grew up here, but was gone for a long time, so didn't have any friends or anything. So just remember being vulnerable one day and being like, I'd really like to pray for some friends. And the person sitting next to me turned, she's like, I'll be your friend. And that's was the beginning of, one of a really great friendship that it still carries on to this day. So just, having that community where, you're reading and studying God's word together, and then able to, grow outside of that as well. And that they're a big part of that, because you've been to this study and you get to know these women, and they know all of your, prayer requests, things you're struggling with, things that's going on. So they're there for you whenever things are hard and you need help. And they're also there for you when things are going great and you want to grab some Starbucks. But yeah, and I think people could be intimidated because there's more homework. But it was kind of always explained to me that it's come even if you aren't able to do it, because sometimes life is busy. Since I jumped in the middle of a 3-year Revelation study, I literally came in a year and a half in. If I can do that and not be completely lost or discouraged, anybody can jump in and do it. And this is definitely a lot more intense study, where you're looking at different words, you're looking at what the original language is and where you might find them elsewhere. It definitely has helped me fall in love with the Bible again and over, where it just gets me more excited to pick it up and read it, to find, realizing that the Bible is one big story, all pointing to Jesus, and seeing that connections flowing from the New Testament and Old Testament. That has really been a big part of what I've learned from Precepts.
Just come and find out, and we'll work alongside. That's one of the great things, is we're not going to speed by, And there's numbers, people that they can call. If it's a friend that I brought, I will sit down with them and go through how to do the lesson. I just have really enjoyed it. Enjoyed learning more of the Bible that way.
So I always encourage my friends to just go, and because that's, I feel, it's very important to just go, make some friends, even though it's uncomfortable. But I know you will grow from it. Yeah. The childcare is included.
Be bold and do it.
Oh, you're welcome.
You got any material there? I don't know.